BBC former champion Boris Becker's expletives were not in the script at Wimbledon. Here it looms large in the schedule as a welcome staple, giving this a striking comparison to the heart-thumping action of summer football. Tennis at Wimbledon, though, has other qualities, not least because there's something faintly improbable about this tournament now. As the last remaining lawn tennis Grand Slam, it has an importance of its own, combined with another great British pastime, obsessive lawn mowing. Oh, yes, those wonderful manicured stripes, the envy of all gardeners. Then there are the officials, the rules, the dress code and the choreography. It's almost the perfect sport for television, not least because it evolves at such a pedestrian speed. It also holds on to tradition, unashamedly. In this weather, and with the right refreshment in front of the television, it takes some beating and reminds us that holding on to some things is worth it. Well, that was until Boris Becker opened his mouth. This former darling of the court is now completely bizarre, and not comically so. And frankly, what was presenter Sue Barker even doing asking him about his apparent diplomatic immunity because of a Central African Republic passport? We all wanted to know about that. He then joked, swore and got the BBC coverage off to a wonderful start. In the evening, it got even weirder as the shadows lengthened and the Pims disappeared. Get it? There's something calm, reassuring and very British about Wimbledon was the positioning of the studio for Today at Wimbledon BBC Two. Every day the result of too many brainstorm meetings with perfect curve, we don't we, then, just have this sort of high platform, not a studio at all, a sort of non-studio, where everyone can sit in all weathers. Viewers will love it. Alas, the weather doesn't. Even with the sunshine, lead presenter Claire Balding and experts Tracy Austin and John McEnroe were holding down everything as the wind did its worst. For some inexplicable reason, we also missed the opening shot of the three presenters, unless you count a long-distance view of the back of their heads as entertainment. The first match saw ex-champ Serena Williams try to overcome the cruel imposition of a pair of thick brown tights. I do think the All England handicap system is going too far now. She grunted her way through the match, leading Claire Balding to suggest that she was downbeat in her post-match interview. You try having a baby last September then returning to top-level competitive tennis. Admittedly, I was more shocked by McEnroe's outfit than anything worn by a tennis player. Is he having a midlife crisis? He was in Converse trainers and a strange silver necklace. Did he wear that for a bet? Altogether now, you cannot be serious. Can the All England dress code now include presenters? We then caught up with promising British player Katie Swan, who turned in a sterling performance of grit, only to be asked by the BBC reporter how she would be enjoying the night. She replied, celebrating with family. BBC reporter, and a bit of Love Island's win. Absolutely, the reality show hardly needs any publicity from the BBC. Love Island ITV2, every day continues to enjoy incredible popularity, even from Ofcom. Last week, it broke its own ratings record. As much as I try to drag myself away, I'm drawn in again. On the Monday episode, when Danny Dyer was successfully reunited with her dynamic pen salesman Jack Fincham, 4 million, a quarter of all that night's TV viewers, couldn't believe they were still watching the show either. There is no truth to the rumor that her father Danny Dyer was about to parachute into the Villa garden if Fincham had returned with the new GERRL. Personally, I can't wait for the women to twig to the fact that Charlie Brake, one of the new batch of men, is heir to a £2 billion fortune. At Love Island, Danny Dyer and Sterling, the show's unforgiving and hilarious narrator, will be poised no doubt with the phrase, "What attracted you to the billionaire heir to a catering fortune?" No doubt the reply will come, "I thought he was fit." Like, if you're pinched for something to do during the show, try Love Island Bingo. You count the number of times the phrases, "Oh my god, know what I mean," or 100%, are said. If it happens in the same sentence, you of course shout bingo, probably to yourself. Sweet little Sarah, the Ennis baby, had been in the series for barely a blink when life was cruelly snatched from her. You can always rely on infant mortality to stir an audience cheap, but more seriously for Dr. Ennis, his wife fled the marital home and, rather unfairly, took the dog with her. As he trudged back into his huge Cornish pile, he appeared to have only a loyal footman to fall back on. Elsewhere, just when things are going awry in Poldark, everything does. A mine collapsed and flooded, but our hero Ross, whose ill-fated plan caused the waterworks, dragged a worker from the shaft and Ennis gave the boy the weirdest, and probably the first ever CPR scene. Like every politician nursing some guilt for his actions, Poldark MP fled to the comforts of Westminster, leaving de Melzer and Ennis to discuss the wider uses of heart massage.